Onside kicking it as always, man. What time is it, AJ?
What up? It's your boy Sick is Full. It's time for a Thursday night preview. How you guys doing today?
Man, I'm feeling good, bro. Shout out to the viewers, man. Justin, your boy Sean out there. This is the last Thursday night football we got, man. So we're amped to bring you some action. We got some picks on tonight's game, of course, Tennessee Titans and the Cowboys. But before we get started, as always, a reminder, at Sick is Full has a YouTube channel as well. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell. At Onside Kicking It, which you're viewing now. This is our group page. This is for our, obviously, sports channel. It's very simple. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll get alerted when we go live, and you'll also see some of our picks going on primetime games. Lastly, you can follow all three of these socials that you see. At Onside Kicking It, I am Ghost_AF, Sick is Full, the whole 9 yards. We are on all platforms, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. We're backwards right now. I'm not the Sick is Full, although I pretend to be.
You are the sickest fool.
You know what I am? I am.
You are.
But you're like the sickest fool.
I'm just Ghost.
I'm just
I'm
Ghost.
just Ghost AF right now.
We're all over the place, man. First of all, thanks for the patience. I just got back in town, so forgive me. But let's get started without further ado, man.
Let's go. All right, let's just jump into a Thursday night matchup. We got the Cowboys and the Titans. Kind of meaningless game on paper. Obviously, the Cowboys have a little bit to play for. If they could come in and swoop the Eagles, I think it's going to be difficult. Titans don't really have anything to play for. They have their game next week against the Jaguars, which is really what's going to decide who makes it into the playoffs. But as far as tonight goes, if you see my Instagram clip or my short, a lot of inactives, especially on the Tennessee side. No Derrick Henry, no Ryan Tannehill. No Malik Willis, which is a little bit of a surprising. They're going to be starting Josh Dobbs, who I can't talk too much on because I haven't seen him play too much, but Fox over here has seen him play because he did play for the Steelers, so maybe he can give you a little insight on Dobbs. And then also Tony Pollard out. So my read is both these teams want to get out of here as soon as possible, get into next week where things are going to matter a little bit more, and then they're going to know if the games matter or what the playoff situations are. So, yeah. I think it's going to be, I mean, I got to check the weather, but even California, the weather's not that nice. So I'm thinking it can't be that much better in Tennessee. Like, Tennessee doesn't have better weather than LA, does it?
I mean, low key, dog. I didn't even check the weather, but I have the same
54-degree.
I have the same concept in my eyes. I mean, here's the truth of it all. The Cowboys still technically have an outside chance to win their division, which would mean an outside chance of getting home field advantage throughout. So the way I see it, very simple. I believe that they're going to go as hard as they can in the first half. They got no Pollard, so they can't necessarily just rely on Zeke. You don't want to get him hurt before the playoffs. They're going to try and spread the ball around. I'm excited to have CeeDee Lamb in one of my leagues. I am rolling with Dak Prescott as the QB. What I like the most is I actually like a team over because I don't think they're going to score 40.5 like with your under overall team over because I don't know if the Titans can put up too much points. Dallas Cowboy wants to have some pride. They play good D. And I look at the Cowboys and I go, they can put up some points quick. So I think that 13.5 points in the first half is doable. I think they can put up more than 2 touchdowns. I think that'll give them that secure lead where they can maybe use Zeke and maybe even some of their backups in the third and fourth quarter. Joshua Dobbs, to answer your question, yeah, he was a former Steeler QB. The guy played a lot as far as bullshit time, but also, Mason Rudolph would go down every once in a while. Joshua Dobbs would play in his place. He was like our third string quarterback. I had a lot of hope on him. I had a lot of excitement. I thought if Ben leaves, this would be our guy. He's really tall. He's really lanky. He's quick, but he doesn't really use his rushing ability as always. But he's got the capability to do so. So I'm curious to see, why the Titans are deciding to play him over Malik. They clearly just picked him up because he started a game earlier this year for some random ass squad in the beginning, and I don't have the team he played for, but it definitely wasn't the
Was the Titans? Yeah, I
wasn't
mean,
the Titans.
I don't think it's really injury related for Malik. I think it's just performance based. They're not really too impressed with what they've seen from Malik Williams, so I think that's why they're going ahead. I don't know what they're doing. I think
Maybe they picked him up to evaluate him, right? Let's see what he does the last couple of weeks of the season and see if.
I mean, he was drafted like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like, if he was gonna be somebody, he would have been somebody. Like there's not too many Geno Smiths, right? Like Geno Smith's the only and even Geno Smith, like look how much like we weren't on him this year, thinking like, he's not that good, he's gonna be a bust. And obviously he's balling, but that's like 1 in a million. And shout out J-Ro in the chats. Can you slide it over really quick? I can't see what it says.
Justin, what's popping, bro? Boom.
Dallas Cowboys money line lock of the week.
Man, it's just like 475 to 1. It was just,
No value.
I didn't see the value either. I mean, if you parlay it, maybe it kind of works a little bit more like even math, but parlays are obviously a little harder to hit.
Minus $900 to win $100.
Yeah, it was 475 for the first half, right?
First half.
900. That's rough. And if that, God forbid, oh, he's laughing about it. Okay, good. See, he's fucking with us. Yeah, that is the lock of the week, though. I mean, they got to win, right?
Yeah, if you want to just be right. But I'm trying to make some money, honey.
Yeah, Cowboys, look, no Derrick Henry, no no Tony Pollard. I don't know, man. I still have the same vibe. I think they're going to go hard in the first half. Maybe get a couple touchdowns, maybe kick a couple field goals. Go in the half with maybe like a 20-3 or 20-6 lead, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard for the Titans to score points, let's be honest. But the only thing they have going for them is their run game, their defense, their coaching.
And with no Derrick Henry, is the run game
but they got
even
nothing
there?
to play for, which is kind of scary. So
That part.
that's the only thing that's kind of throwing me for a loop. But as far as starters go, you're going to be starting your Cowboys. You're going to be starting Zeke confidently. Hopefully, he gets a lot of touches. You're going to be starting CeeDee Lamb, and I think you got to be starting Dak too, especially if you have some QB problems. If you have Hurts, if you have them, I think
Schultz, can't sleep on Schultz from the tight
Yeah.
end standpoint. Obviously, that's a hard position to fill in fantasy, so he's definitely starting tonight. From the Tennessee Titans side, I literally wouldn't start anybody. Not their defense, not their kicker.
I might start Hillard, the backup running back, who's an elite handcuff.
Not in the championship, though, would you?
I mean, if you have him on your squad,
Volume-based.
and the volume-based and everything, just because Henry's out, and even when he's missed some time, he's gotten some touches. So that's
Here's the truth. If you made it to the championship and you're starting Hillard tonight,
Like, what if you made it to the championship with Henry?
that's what I'm saying. But you got to have at least a good – you can't have two RBs is my point. You might have a third RB that's flexible at times, maybe three strong wide receivers, and that's one that's flexible. But at what point you got to have at least three RBs on your squad. So if you're going to Hillard just because you're losing Henry, just be careful, bro. The Cowboys have a really good rush defense, and the last thing you want to do is risk it all on the chip because of a volume-based play. Because, again, if they go down big early, he might not get that much action either, so it's scary. Shout out to Mad Capper, man. I haven't seen you in this chat before, bro. It's good to see you on our channel, man. We appreciate you. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, and just really quick, I mean, we'll jump to that game in a bit, but yeah, Chiefs never cover. You know that. Chiefs are one of my
Except for
favorite teams.
last week, for the first time in how long, too, bro?
I know,
Seahawks let
forever.
me down, bro.
But that was, but even that was just still a slow, boring game. I mean, they came out, they took care of business, but the Chiefs do not cover spreads. So we'll see what's going on. Moving on to the next game, we got the Cardinals versus the Falcons. Some backup quarterbacks playing. We got Desmond Ridder and Colt McCoy. Not sexy on paper. Who do you like in that game? The spread is Falcons -3 with the over-under 42. What are you leaning towards?
This is tough for me because I got James Conner. So I'm like, damn, man, they have nothing to play for. It's an illness. It's not like he injured something. So I feel like he wants to finish the season strong. I mean, the dude's prideful. I look at the Cardinals like actual weapons, D-Hop, James Conner. I just feel like ultimately they have better weapons than the Falcons, right? Algier and Cordell Peterson. Let's face it, Jake London. I'm taking D-Hop over London. I'm taking James Conner over Algier or Patterson. So I got to roll with the Falcons. What was the spread?
-3.
Falcons are giving 3 points. Yeah. I'll take whoever's getting points in that game ultimately. So I'll take the Cardinals +3 if James Conner plays. If James Conner does not play, I'm not rolling with that at all.
Yeah, and really quick, I want to shout out Masoudi, my uncle.
Masoud.
Hi. Hello. What
That's
up,
my
what up,
boy.
what
I
up,
just
what
hit him
up?
up, man. What's good, Masoud? It's so good to see you in here, bro.
Yes, sir. And
I've
Sean,
always fucked with Masoud, man, and I appreciate you coming in here, man. I know that's your cousin, but he feel like my cousin
uncle,
sometimes. You know
man,
what I'm
my
saying? Oh, that's your uncle. That's
Yeah,
right,
my
low
mom's
key.
brother. So, but really quickly, just
That's
from a fantasy
right.
perspective, obviously James Conner's playing. You're starting him.
Yeah.
I've been benching D Hop the last couple of weeks. I
Wow.
had a weird
Props.
little tandem. Well, I had the tandem of D Hop and Connor,
Right.
but without a quarterback, they weren't really producing.
Right.
And in the beginning of the year, they weren't producing too much, and then they just started getting it together. So, and then with the backup quarterbacks, but with Colt McCoy, I think it's an uptick to D Hop. So I kind of like that. We got Todd Markey in the house right now with the starter sit question of do we start D Hop or Jerry Drew this week, who's coming out, hyping up Russell Wilson, saying that this was false narratives. against
So
Wilson.
So first things first, call it what you want, Judy. I think it's a great team effort, and obviously, Russell Wilson is definitely rubbing up on him, no pun intended. But they're looking out for each other. I love that. Great team spirit. But as you know, Russell Wilson just has not been performing. His offensive line is not doing him any favors. He's lost all of his running backs throughout the year, and it's putting a lot of pressure on him. Look, the first time they put over 16 points up was when he was not playing. Came back and couldn't put up shit again. So, look, Judy without Sutton, he's a must start. As far as starting him over D-Hop, like he said, if Colt McCoy's now the starting quarterback, that does change some things. I think just the sheer ability of D-Hop being able to go up and grab a few things, I think the upside and the ceiling's a lot higher. But just because dude gives props to his quarterback and you think he's now going to explode, I'm not buying it. I'm actually playing D-Hop for a bounce back game over Judy if I'm Utah.
Yeah, I'm taking D-Hop too. It's just such low volume offense with the Broncos. So they might play good because it's a divisional game and they just want to be like a killer to their division to KC. But other than that, D-Hop and then plus Colt McCoy, he gets it. He's gonna pepper him with targets.
Exactly.
Like
at least 10.
Worley ain't gonna pepper.
Yes.
Him, he's at least gonna get peppered. So it might not be, upside. And then plus the matchup, I like the matchup against the Falcons, who are just kind of all over the place, as opposed to going against the Chiefs, who are looking to lock up a spot in the division.
Hey, shout out to Big L real quick, man. Larry Cruz, man. That's my boy from way back in the day, man. It's funny, man. This show got me in my feelings and starting hitting up some people I ain't talked to in a while, man. So again, I want to say thank you guys for showing up. I know it was last minute, but I appreciate you guys, man. We do this every Monday and every Thursday at 3:30 Pacific Standard. Please, man, show us some love. Make sure you guys hit that like button for us. It does help the algos get us in front of more people. Subscribe if you ain't subscribed. And again, hit that notification bell if this is your first time in here.
And really last thing, we want to touch up on Tyler Algier. He's kind of just been growing as the season goes, but as I've been just covering him week to week, he's not someone that I'm going to be trusting, especially with the backfield situation. It was really crowded when Huntley was in there as well. But between him and Patterson, it's like you want to start Patterson, but Algier is kind of becoming the guy. But ultimately, it's a committee, and they don't score many points. So I think if you've gotten here with Algier as your flex, you might have to roll him, but I don't know how you got to the finals with Algier as your flex.
Yeah, that's real.
really where it comes down.
I'm starting to think maybe Todd's playing for 5th place in his other league or something, bro. With these guys. No, I'm playing.
We got a bunch of sharks in our league,
I'm playing. Hey, shout out to Gabe Womack. He's not here right now. He's accepting an award, bro. World Indie Film Awards, best script.
Nice.
My guy's been beasting, man. Gabe always comes in here and shows us love, even though he ain't here. When he comes in and tune in, I want to make sure he knows we show him some love, man. Shout out to Gabe, bro. My fault. Go back to football.
All right, and we got the next game. We got the Bears going to the Lions, divisional game. Lions are favored by 6, over under 52. This is actually my lock of the week, and this is something that I was riding earlier in the year. It could be a little bit of a trap game, but I'm going to go the over of 52. And the reason is Lions play really good at home in the Dome. Justin Fields is a baller. Lions still have something to play for. The Bears just want to be competitive in their division.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go with the over 52. I could be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a really low scoring trap fake game. But on paper, this should be a shootout, and without weather conditions and Goff at home and everything.
Yeah, you're talking about in a dome as a Bear, man. You're even excited to suit up in this dome, get out of that weather for some time. Lions defense has been awful all year. I love that play. The over-under is 52. Yeah, so I like that as well. I like the Lions and the Bears over 52. And I also like, believe it or not, I like the Lions -6. I really do. This is a must-win for them.
Yeah.
Must win.
They're on the outside looking in.
They're on the outside looking in. And if they can get this win, they can put themselves in a good situation. Now, they really haven't blown out many teams. I think the Jaguars was like their biggest win this year. So it is a lot of points.
And especially
but
the
I think
game too, because even though the Bears don't have anything to play for, they do have something to play for. They're gonna play each other again next year.
And they're getting healthy, man. You got Khalil Herbert came back to help Montgomery. Chase Claypool's now back. So definitely a lot of points. But I think that's why I like it. If I'm in a normal state of mind, I'm taking 6 points all day in a divisional game.
Yeah.
But I think that's that line where it's like, oh man, they're gonna cover no problem.
really quick from a standing standpoint, Herbert's back. Obviously, it takes away a lot of value from
Montgomery,
He was
which
a
I
must
have
start
in
with
my
him,
other league.
with him out. Not starting any of the pass catchers. I mean, possibly Komet if you've been rolling with that tandem, but don't like it. And on the Lions side, the backfield is in shambles with Swift and Jamal Williams. Swift is what's his injury status looking like right now? He's projected to play, so that I don't really feel comfortable starting either the running backs on the Lions. I'm on Ron St. Brown starting him. That's about it.
So I got Jared Goff in place of
And
Hurts.
Goff, yeah, actually, he's a top 10
right.
streamer this week.
I got
especially at home.
I got Jared Goff in place of Hurts this week in my other league. I also have Amon St. Brown, which I actually ironically traded Tony Pollard for Amon St. Brown, like just a straight trade late in the season when Ezekiel Elliott was coming back. And boy, am I glad now, because in the finals, I would not have that dude. So that's awesome. Yeah, man, we'll see. JoJo, aka my sis, man, congratulations to Gabe. I appreciate you looking out for him. Mad Capper, man, he's got the Browns on a money line. We're actually getting to that game in just a few moments, but first up, we're gonna roll with the another divisional game: Broncos in Arrowhead against the Chiefs.
I mean, it's a trap game
Man.
on paper. I mean, I feel you because like everyone wants to say Chiefs minus 12.5, and like I said, they never cover. And going back to what Matt Capper said, they covered last week. So can they cover 2 weeks in a row? I'm not sure, but they're definitely not going to lose this game. There's a lot of locker room talk, obviously, with Wilson. They fired the head coach, Nathaniel Hackett. So maybe there's a bounce back game. If you did remember, they did come out of the second half. Marlon Mack had a big touchdown. It was kind of competitive. Russell Wilson left the game going hard, getting concussed. So even though on paper it's a very lopsided matchup, don't be surprised if this game gets played tough, even with the Broncos having nothing to play for, just because, again, it's just a divisional matchup. If this wasn't a divisional game, I would wouldn't have a problem taking the 12.5 as the Chiefs, just because of playoff situations and implications. But given that this is a divisional game, it make it a little bit tougher to confidently roll them.
Mad Capper lives up to his name. I love it.
Yeah.
Mad Capper. Not
Yeah,
Mad Hatter, but
indeed.
Mad Capper, and just everything he's saying. I love it, man. Hey, man, thank you for keeping this chat lit. Definitely Denver, he says, man, and I love it, bro. I'm with you. Look, man, it's difficult in the NFL to give 12.5 points and like it's nothing. Remember, the Chiefs struggled to play the Texans. Similar situation, right? It's like lopsided on paper, but there's an actual, God bless you,
Thank you.
there's an actual football game, and it's any given Sunday. So, no, I'm not doing Broncos money line with Mad Capper, but I definitely will take Denver plus 12.5 points, even though it's on the road. I think this is one of those games where Russell Wilson is just trying to. He had a good speech the other day, man. I'm not gonna lie. For the first time ever, he didn't make me cringe. He was like, "Look, man, you know, I've been in the gutters before, in a sense, you know, and you bounce back. That's what you do. You know, I'm not gonna let this negative time frame, you know, stop me. I'm gonna use my work ethic. I'm gonna go hard, and I felt this negative feeling before, and I always come up on top. And with that being said, I do think, like you said, I think it's competitive divisional game. I like the Broncos plus 12.5. I'm not taking the over-under because I don't know if I'm getting the Broncos that can't put up 16 or if I'm getting the Broncos that actually put up some offensive firepower somehow. And the Chiefs defense has been looking strong in the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, Broncos plus 12.5.
12.5. Yeah, I mean, really quickly on a fantasy standpoint, Sutton's been back practicing on a limited basis. If he's playing or not, who knows? Don't feel comfortable starting him, even if he is playing. Does give a boost to Judy if he is out. Latavius Murray's been getting the volume, although he has no touchdown upside. And then on the Chiefs side, you're going to roll Mahomes, you're going to roll Kelsey, you're going to roll Juju even at this point, who had a slow game last week. And then if you got Pacheco and you got McKinnon, you might have to roll them too. That's your RB flex like type situation. I had a tough spot where I had to stack all of them. I had Mahomes, Juju, and Pacheco. It didn't really work out for me last week, but I didn't have anything to play for, so it didn't really matter. But I'm just saying, if you have those guys and you don't have that stack, like one of them could definitely roll.
I like having a running back and a receiver combo. That way they get to the red zone and it's like it gets far enough away, you get that receiver, or if it's close enough, you might get that run.
See, I like the opposite.
But I like quarterback receiver or quarterback running back.
Yeah, that's what
you
I'm
know
saying.
what I mean?
Yeah, because I was saying
All
Cardinals,
three though
I
is
had-
rough.
Well, no, all three is where you could make the most value. My problem is when I had like James Conner and DeAndre Hopkins without the
Right,
quarterback,
right.
and like you don't really trust Murray. But then it's like, you know, that's where I kind of don't like it. At least if you have the quarterback, you have the option of getting the touchdown from
run,
the quarterback. Well, the
throw.
quarterback to the wide receiver, you get the double points. And then if they just turn around, hand it off, and rush it in, you're still getting points.
Or
You're
if it's
not-
Mahomes who does the little
yeah,
flip
or-
that
yeah,
counts
or-
as a pass.
Or yeah, exactly. A reception TD is great, but yeah, I mean, Sean, I had to freaking patch up my team. You know, I
Yeah.
gotta work with what I gotta work with. But
Absolutely. Sean, so me and Sean had this convo offline one day, and he's a can't stand stacks. Like he literally hates stacks. To him, his thought process is like, if I have receivers and running backs on different teams and my quarterback, I don't have any of the running backs and receivers, that every time those teams get in the goal line,
you
I have a chance to score in
multiple
right. So if 3 of those teams are in the red zone, I have 3 different possibilities to put up points. Me personally, I'm with you. I love quarterback to receiver the most. And if I can't get the receiver, I don't mind having a running back that catches passes like McKinnon and a Mahomes.
Yeah.
You know?
If you have a good tandem, I think it definitely could help you win the league. But if the tandem doesn't produce, you're kind of
Goff and Amon St. Brown got me to the chip in one league. AJ Brown and Hurts has
imagine
literally
you
got
like
me
Kelsey Mahomes. You know, that's
Right.
like a stack you want to
for the tight end, especially, dude.
Or like you have Hurts and Brown, like that's a great.
Hurts and
tandem.
Brown got me to this league.
Yeah, exactly. So
Legit.
let's go on to another divisional
His
game.
favorite. Speaking
We're
of
talking-
Sean's
we're gonna
Devils,
talk about
favorite.
Sean. The Dolphins. Is Tua playing or is he not playing?
I don't believe he's playing.
Bridgewater's lined up to play.
Yeah,
believe,
I do not believe he's
versus
playing.
the Patriots, -2.5 for the Patriots. It's a little bit of a tricky game because it's a divisional game, and Bridgewater is actually capable. I think he's one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league.
You know what though? He came out went 0 for 3 this year already.
Yeah, but
He's getting a little old.
he is. But I think the Dolphins team is just good, and it's gonna be a tough matchup against Belichick on the road, backup quarterback. But given other games, I kind of like them. I just don't like this matchup specifically.
Look,
Especially with Belichick having time to game plan for Teddy Two Gloves.
here's the truth, man. The Dolphins are in a must win, and as are the Patriots, right? Patriots still have a lifeline in wild card. In fact, if they win this game, they're gonna be taking the Dolphins' place in that last wild card slot since there's now 7 teams that can make it. I do not feel good. The Dolphins have lost 4 in a row now? 3 in a
Not
row?
sure. Yeah, I think something like that.
Help me out here, Sean. They won 3 they lost 3 in a row, I believe. Because they went 3-0, then they lost 3. Yeah, they have 6 losses, I believe, on the season.
4 in a row.
They
But
did 4 in a row,
look
right?
at these teams. They lost to
Oh, yeah,
Green Bay,
Buffalo, Chargers,
San
Niners.
Francisco. That's all.
I mean, it all
bad teams.
started against the Niners. The Niners loss was a rough loss for them. As soon as the quarterback Garoppolo goes down, you think it's a no-brainer, and they still got pounded on. And then, of course, they had it, like you said, Chargers on the road on a primetime matchup. Then they had to go play Buffalo, divisional road game. And then now Packers, who are just have nothing to lose, and they're just going as hard as they can. And, of course, you can't count Aaron Rodgers, who's still had a playoff opportunity spot available. And then now you got to go in Foxborough. You guys beat the Patriots week 1, if I'm not mistaken. It's extremely hard to sweep a team. And then now you have no Tua to top it all off, the guy that's low-key getting you in this position. But one thing I will say, the Patriots are not the Patriots of old, as I always say. And to be honest with you, bro, a lot of their players are vocal. It's not like they're the GOAT Tom Brady being vocal, and it's Tom Brady, you get it. But Mac Jones,
I mean, he's
pass the
quarterback,
fucking
though.
ball, stop running it. I just think they're in disarray. I just think they're just
I don't know.
in disarray.
The one thing that kind of stood out to me that was just really I just couldn't really wrap my finger around it is how Matt Patricia is the offensive coordinator.
I don't either.
That's just something I just-
Defensive-minded guy. Dude.
Yeah, just why can't you just bring in an offensive coordinator? What's up with
That's
that?
very odd.
It's very odd. That's the only thing. And then from a fantasy perspective, starting Tyreek Hill, starting Jalen Waddle, running back situation is a little bit messy with Mozart and Wilson back. You just don't know who's going to get those touches. So if you have to roll one of them, I get it. I probably would feel more comfortable starting Wilson.
Yeah, I'm 100. Listen, Mostert fumbled the ball late last week,
And he's doing
and that
kick-
cost him
kick-
the game.
kick returns
And he's
stuff.
doing kick return.
So
So
he-
you know he's not the RB1 in their
Exactly.
eyes.
Yeah.
Wilson gets goal line work, which is why you got the touch on last week.
Yep.
Yards per carry isn't as much as Mostert, but he was starting to get back acclimated from his last injury. So yeah, I think Wilson is a must start. I'm actually starting him this week. No Tua. I think they're going to be going hard. I got him in my other league. I'm starting him. I actually dropped Mostert. And I think that actually makes it that much easier of a decision. So yeah, Wilson to me is the sleeper of the week because Patriots have phenomenal rush game defense. You just think there's no way. But I like the Dolphins on a money line. And I like Wilson to go off.
Yeah, I mean, on the Patriots side, Ramondre Stevenson had a slow game
Baller.
last week, but you're starting him.
Got to.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough game to call. Honestly, I'm probably gonna go under 41 if I had to pick, just because
love that.
in Foxborough, backup quarterback.
They're not scoring more than 10 points a
they're
quarter.
The Patriots don't want to get in a shootout with Miami. Like that's the
No.
last thing they want to do, especially with two gloves. He is capable, but let's just see a slow scoring game. 41.
That's my lock of the week
Yeah,
now that
I'm
you said
actually
it
gonna-
6 times, right?
Yeah, let me go ahead and put a little star on that one because we're gonna put a little bit down on that.
Yeah, that's the lock of the week for me too, to be honest with you, man. Dolphins, Patriots under. No way they're putting up more than
And
10.
before we move on, tomorrow, of course, what's up? And then we have
Oh,
Derek
tomorrow,
Watson
man,
on
what's
money
up?
line against the streak. I don't feel confident. 4-0 backup quarterback against Billy.
Hey, real
Belichick, who's
quick,
trying
so
to get
sorry.
playoff spot.
That's my sister, bro. Shout out to Amara, man. It is so good to see you on here. I love you. I miss you. Happy holidays. Happy New Year's. And D Money, bro. Dolphins money line against the streak. Go ahead, do your thing.
I don't like it. I mean, backup quarterback against Belichick, who's playing for a playoff spot on the road, divisional game. I mean, I could see him winning, but like with Tua, obviously, but not with Teddy Two Gloves.
So-
Although I wouldn't be surprised if Two Gloves does play well.
So here's my theory. That's definitely not a lock of the week. That's definitely not something I'm putting money on. That would be like one I would add to sweeten up the odds on like maybe a long parlay with profits. Belichick has a history with demolishing backup quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Demolishing. I don't care if they've been in the league forever. If they come in this game and they usually have a very decent first half and then second half, they just demolish you. So it's a long shot. I would not put my money on that D Money, that's for sure. And just real quick while we're on the topic, everything we talk about, guys, is our personal opinion. By all means, we're not trying to tell you guys exactly what game's the place and all that fun stuff. This isn't financial advice. This is legit gambling. These are odds. Make sure if you do play, risk management trumps all. You know,
responsibly.
yeah, go into it knowing you're going to lose whatever you put into it, and that amount won't affect your lifestyle, your loved ones, and you most importantly. So, with that being said, no, I'm not. That's not the play. I like the under in that game more than anything else. Like AJ touched on, 41 points is phenomenal. That's a great line.
All right, and going on to the next game, we got the Colts and the Giants. Colts don't have much to play for. Giants do. Still in a playoff spot right now, so Giants are favored 5.5, over under 39. I mean, from the Colts side, I don't really feel comfortable starting anyone. Michael Pittman, possibly just from his volume on a PPR standpoint, and from the Giants.
Pittman stung so many players last week.
Yeah, but he does get a lot of targets though. He does get a lot of targets. So if you're playing PPR league and
Who's their quarterback?
I don't even know.
Thank you. Don't start Pittman.
Yeah,
That is fantasy advice. Do not
yeah,
start
I mean,
him.
Matt Ryan might actually
No.
put him on the shelf.
No, yeah, no. Look, if Matt Ryan comes back in, by all means, you play Pittman. But, dude, just be careful. That guy stung you. If you even made it to the finals and that was one of your starters and you have to play him this week, I get it. But just be careful, bro.
And then on the Giants side, obviously Saquon. But who do you like for the game? 5.5 and over.
I'll be honest with you, bro. Giants minus 5.5 is actually one of my lock of the weeks. If you can start that one for me. Giants minus 5.5. The Colts are so bad. The Chargers bullied them in the slowest, ugliest pace game I've seen in a while, a few days ago. And so they're playing on a short week on the road, which Sean will tell you, historically, teams that play on the road on a short week on a Monday night that go on the road that following weekend, their record is horrible. So I just think, look, man, that team is just done. They're not competitive. They won't be competitive. And, shout out to Saturday for trying to go in there and at least do something productive. But that team's done. So I like 5.5 points, Giants to mollywop the Colts.
Yeah, if I had to pick, I'm actually going to lean towards the over of 39. I think it's really low. The Colts don't have anything to play for, but they do have their coach to play for. And
Be careful. I took the over in that Colts game against the Chargers,
but
and
but the
golly.
Chargers are a lot better team than what I think the Giants are. Like I think
I feel you.
the Chargers are in a way different.
Whose defense is better, though?
Right now they're about the same, but the Chargers have more upside when Bosa comes back.
But
Derwin
I'm
James
saying,
is
like,
gonna-
when they played on Monday night with the team they have no Bosa, and you look at the Giants team, truthfully, do you think the Chargers have better defense than the Giants?
I mean, I think the Giants have a better rush defense than the Chargers at the time.
Giants have a better rush defense. Yeah, I agree with that.
But at the same time, I don't really like the coaching from the Giants, and I don't really look at them as like a top team. So if they were like a top tier 1 team,
And you
then-
think they're going to score the over?
Well, I think they're going to score points because they're going to have to because they're in the playoffs. But I
Okay.
just don't think they have an elite defense where they're going to just shut down the Colts and like do basically what the Chargers did to them.
See, I think that was just like the recipe, dude. I'm scared of that over
Yeah,
under
I mean,
personally. I
there's-
like
it's so low too, and then also because the thing is like Quentin Nelson, right? Offensive lineman, best one of the best offensive linemen.
beast. He's
talking
down.
about he's talking no, he's playing. He's talking about he's not playing good. He's not doing his thing. Like he's putting pressure on himself to come out and show out next week.
And
So
actually, okay, there's
and,
pride.
you know, there's pride. And like I said, for the coach, for everything. So I see them scoring a couple points just for the sake of scoring points. If the team was better, obviously I wouldn't roll that. It's a little sneaky game just because I don't really believe in the Giants defense. So
I feel you. I don't like the over under personally, but I see your logic behind it. Put it that way.
yeah, and then so going to the next game, Saints Eagles. No Jalen Hurts. Gardner Minshew played really well last week in his replacement. I think that
He
had
did.
to do with the line, just the team as a whole. Obviously, the defense didn't show up, giving up 40 points, but to see them score 34 on Dallas' defense is something to look forward to. So I think you're feeling a little bit more confident with some of your Eagles starters, specifically Miles Sanders. I think them leaning on the run game. Did get a lot of volume last game. Obviously, a downtick to A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Devonta Smith. But Minshew did look kind of capable. So if that's only your option, I feel like you're going to have to roll.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with AJ Brown's injury. He's questionable. He hasn't had anything significant pull up on the injury report. Normally he's got a rest day, but they added an injury in it. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. I think it comes down to week 18 for them. If they win, they basically are in as the number 1 seed and first, anyways, I'm a little nervous about AJ Brown. Obviously I got to roll him out. As far as the spread goes, that's a lot. 6.5 points is a lot. As bad as the Saints have been playing, they're more than capable.
Yeah.
They're more than capable. And I think what you're going to see with the Eagles is they're going to stay close in all their games, right? It's like they're not going to actually have blowouts. They're going to be, fairly productive. I like the Saints plus the 6.5 personally.
Yeah, I'm going to have to roll with the under of this game. My reasoning is they scored a lot of points last week, but I think it was because of schemes in the divisional matchup. They were like, okay, we know the Cowboys. We know what
Especially
they like
against
to do.
Dallas
And
Cowboys
and
defense,
we know,
you know?
but I think the Saints have a good sneaky defense, and they're not going to be able to scheme as well to just score as many
See, I
points.
think here was the problem with the Eagles game. The Cowboys like, oh yeah, it's not Hurts. We're about to murk them. And on defense, we're going to force them to pass. And Minshew's like, okay. And he just kept dropping dimes. And so I think now that they have footage on that and they're going to be capable, the Saints aren't going to just go, okay, let's force them to pass because Minshew could actually tear us apart.
Hey,
So to your point, I like the under. I like
so,
where you're going with
real
that.
quick, Sean said AJ loves them unders. Okay, truthfully, I love them
Undertaker.
Unders. I am the Undertaker, and I'm gonna go back, give you guys a quick little betting tidbit. Psychologically, we're wired to want the over. So the line is always going to be adjusted a little bit more to the favor of the over. So if I'm going to have to blindly pick, I'm just going to always pick the under just because I know everyone wants to bet the over. So if the true line is like 44, they might push it to 45, 45 and a half because they know all the bettors just want to see points. So naturally, I'm just like a pessimist.
Right.
I don't want to get off subject, but when I used to trade stocks, my strategy was to look for declining companies that are tumbling and short them than looking for optimistic growth companies, which obviously screwed me, and that's why I don't trade stocks anymore. But
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
the same
that-
psychology of
Yeah.
you could just look for trash games where people want it to go over and they don't necessarily go over. So
I think it depends stock market wise. You come in the pandemic and you're like, oh, this is going to be the best time to short, and you're going to get stung. I was optimistic. I was like, this is America. We're going to figure this out. So I was longing everything: DraftKings, Tesla, Caesar's
I'm
Palace.
wrong now. I changed my strategy.
Now it's tumbling. Now it's tumbling. Now your strategy is like the best time to do it. You would.
Well, no, but
Tesla's down
it's
70% this
it's
year,
hard
you
to
know?
test, and we're not going to turn this into a stock trading podcast.
Yeah, we are
But
too.
I just want to put this on record that I'm over shorting companies. I've just lost so much money, and you could infinitely lose infinite amounts, and I'm done with that. Like, I don't want to lose infinite amounts.
Yeah.
I get the margin call like, hey, you have a maintenance call on your account.
You're better off grabbing puts, man, and just do the options and whatnot.
Yeah, that's a little bit better. So, and then, from the Saints, you're obviously starting Kamara. I think that's about it. Let's move on to another divisional game.
Real quick, I'm so sorry. D money plus the under means nothing needs to happen. Yeah, I mean, look, defensive mindedly, you're loving the under.
Yeah.
They don't have a touchdown, you're not mad about it. It's like absolutely.
I think what he means is when you start the game, you're covering.
Yeah.
So you're winning until you're losing.
Yes,
And
exactly.
then it's over. So and like I like that because you could be first quarter they could score 30 points and you're like, oh, this is over, and then all of a sudden just nothing
Nothing
happens,
else in
and then you
you
still
still
cover.
win.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's why it's surprised. Like no one wants to bet the under. Trust me, I don't want to bet the under. It's just I'm just jaded, I guess. I don't know. But going on to another divisional game, I think this is a good matchup on paper with playoff implications. You have the Panthers going to the Bucks. Um, Panthers kind of look good actually the last couple of games. They're fighting for a playoff spot with their interim head coach Steve Wilkes. Um, the Bucks look like a JV team, especially on offense, except
Until
for
that-
the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, until the fourth quarter somehow.
Yeah, except for the 2-minute warning
Really?
specifically. The
Really?
fourth quarter is still trash. So, yeah, I mean they came out and they went overtime against the Cardinals.
After being down yet again.
Yeah,
I can't go against Tom Brady when he has playoff hopes. They're technically number one in their division. It's like they're doing just enough at the right time to get it. The -3 points, I feel like you got to win by 3 damn near to kick a field goal, whatever it comes down to. So this is actually, believe it or not, this is a lock of the week for me. I'm all over the Buccaneers -3. I think they're just starting to get that momentum, if you will, and that believability, knowing when Tom Brady's at the helm, we can come back in any circumstance, whether it's 2 touchdowns in the last 3.5 minutes or getting them to push them into overtime and kick a late field goal. And of course, their kicker's more than capable in suck up. So I'm liking Buccaneers -3 overall, but I actually like the under in this game. Believe it or not, 40.5. I think Bucks defense is solid. A little overrated, but solid. Panthers don't have too much offensive firepower. Again, 10 points a quarter is a lot of points. I could totally see this being an under. I'm not parlaying, but I do like under 40.5 as well as Buccaneers -3 over the Panthers.
Yeah, and I'm exactly with you on that too. But really quick on fantasy, Panthers situation, the running backs are moving the ball with
Chubbard.
Chuba and Deontay Foreman, but I don't really feel too comfortable with the rush defense from the Bucks. Obviously, DJ Moore's had an uptick with Sam Darnold, so I think if you've been rolling him, you got to continue rolling him.
Solid flex.
From the Buck side, a little complicated between Lenny and White. It's going to be hard to trust either one. You don't know who's going to get the touches. If you've been having Fournette, it's a little optimistic with his usage this last week, but it's been back and forth between the two. Maybe his health is coming up, and he's going to be getting more of those touches because they trust him. And then, obviously, you're starting Godwin. You're starting Mike Evans. But I think Godwin is the safety net because he does all those like screen passes and quick passes, so he gets those more targets and there's not that much down the field throwing. But as far as betting goes, yeah, same thing. I'm not going to bet against Tom. They put themselves in the situation. They win the games that matter. They do it when it counts the most. That's why the 2-minute drill. So yes, I am going under. I'm going -3, and then also the under of 40.5. I see the Panthers not really being able to score too many points. The Bucks offense have been keeping it close to low scoring. That's why they've been in these games. And
If they have a 3-point spread, I bet you the team under for the Panthers is probably like 18 or something. And I love, if it's 17.5 or more, I love a team under.
18-21? No, 18 and
18-21, yeah, 39, it's 40.5. So
yeah, no,
it's usually like a
18,
point
18.5,
in between, you know what I mean? So 18.5 even, I
But
mean,
three's a little much just because they're only going to win by 3.
right. I agree.
It's gonna be a
I agree. I
winning
think
field
you
goal.
push there, but you win the under.
I
you
mean,
know
they
what I
might
mean?
be losing by 1 or 2, and then they come back and they win by 1 or 2,
I-
and you don't cover.
I'm in love with team under on that one.
Yeah, so I mean, I would think total under more than anything. The only way it wouldn't go under is if the Panthers just throttle the Bucks, score 30+ points,
Which won't
and
happen.
then
I
the
think it's
Bucks
an
score,
interception
like,
for touchdown. I think
like
defensive
12 to 10.
touchdowns.
Yeah, so I like the under in that game too. We're gonna move on to the next game.
This is an exciting one, dude. Browns and Commander.
I mean, it's exciting for the Commanders, and guess what?
Mm.
Carson Wentz back under center. Heineke gone.
Mm.
So let's just talk about fantasy for a second. That's actually a downtick for Terry McLaurin. Wentz
For everyone.
likes not everyone. It's actually an uptick for
Who?
Dotson and Samuel. Just because
Curtis Samuel, yeah, okay.
Curtis Samuel and Jahan Dotson, because Wentz is just a little bit more savvy.
Dump off real
smarter, and
quick,
he
smart.
like, spread the ball around.
Yeah.
He's not gonna just pepper. He's not gonna lock in on McLaurin and say, "Hey, I'm just gonna throw it to my best player every."
How many-
time. So
How many targets do you think you can get from any of those guys, though? 7? I mean,
if you get more
6?
than 6, you'll be happy. Yeah, especially like Curtis Samuel if you're getting the underneath routes, Jahan Dotson, if
Couple
you're getting the
reverses.
long routes. Like those are great 6 targets. You know, McLaurin is where I'm kind of sketched on because he's been a top 15 play these last couple of weeks, especially with Heineke. And I think now he gets pushed down to like a 25, just because I don't think he's gonna get that same-
WR3 real quick.
Yeah, like a mid WR2 to 3 when he was like borderline WR1. So that's on the Commander side. On the Brown side, obviously you're starting Chubb. I don't know how you feel if you really are starting Amari or Njoku.
Here's the
like,
truth, bro. I have Chubb in one league, and this is a game where I'm actually licking my chops. Because Chubb was flat out said, look, I didn't plan on sitting the rest of the season anyway. I'm sure he's got bonuses. Now he has digressed, touchdown wise, for the past few weeks, but he's still putting up 24 carries, 92 yards, 23 carries, 97 yards. I mean, the guy's almost hitting 100 yards against teams like the Ravens, which he's never done before in his history. I think this is a big game for Chubb. I think they dominate the run game, even though Washington's front is phenomenal. And I think that's what ultimately opens up a few things. However, Amari Cooper is questionable. And he's been questionable for the past few weeks. He's clearly their alpha male, as they say in Yahoo. Yeah, in Yahoo's fantasy Yahoo, whatever. They clearly, illustrate that this guy's their number one everything target-wise in the receiving core. I don't feel comfortable starting Cooper at all. I didn't start him last week. It's a road game, and he's been god-awful on the road, except for the one time against the Bills, which they both moved to Detroit Stadium, and it was basically a road game for both. So not starting Cooper in one league, flexing him in another league, if he goes.
Yeah. Just really quick, I want to touch up. I called it wrong. I was all over Watson on the back end of the year.
Yeah.
This guy, I don't want to say he sucks, but this year, for fantasy perspective, he sucks. But I think there's some
You
upside
sold
on him.
me.
I think there's some upside on him.
You
next
sold
year.
me.
Next year, I'll just wait till I come out with my
Bro,
pre-draft rankings next year.
You sold
Watson
me.
is gonna be a sleeper.
The day you're like Watson, first of all,
Quarterbacks aren't available in week 12.
right.
Like that's
Bro,
where-
I drafted Cooper for this state of
Oh,
mind.
By the way, we got.
Gabe Womack, what it do? I was just giving you props, bro.
Yeah, we're touching about your reward, Gabe. Congratulations, man.
You said reward. He didn't bounty
no,
someone.
I think-
No, I'm
oh,
playing.
reward.
No, man, it was the best script, first of all. He sent me his script, man. Bro. Brothers of Babylon. This is a World Indie Film Award for best script, man. Congratulations, bro. Yeah, you're welcome, man. You should. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that shit with us, bro. We appreciate it, man. Back to the football side of things, bro. Listen, you sold me. I was like, oh, man, there's no way he's going to come back. First of all, I drafted I drafted Cooper because I felt like Watson was going to just come in here and change the game. And then it kind of dawned on me where I'm like, dude, no one's going to come in after not playing 600 days in a row and ball out, bro. It's not going to happen. And you're like, oh, but he's a baller. He's an athlete. And then you sold me on like, damn, he's right. Low key, it is Watson. He can run, he can pass, he could this, he could that. Maybe a game or two to get acclimated, but he's playing like trash. And now here's the truth. They have to roll him out the rest of the year. When if they would have stuck with Brissett, they might have been in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
They got to now roll him out for the rest of the year just to see if this is even something they can manage.
No, he's the guy for next year.
Of course.
He's just give him to next year. I think.
But that's why they want reps. Get
Yeah.
your reps in.
Yeah.
So I think Cooper is a must start if he's healthy because he's the top fucking 10 receiver in the league right now,
Yeah.
fantasy wise. Anyways, that game's god awful, man. Can we move on? What's the spread?
Next, 2 Commanders -2.
Yeah, I actually laughing with Mad Capper, bro. I actually like the Browns in that game, and I'll take the 2 points.
The Browns. I mean, I'll take the under of 41. I just don't like Wentz. I don't see him coming out and just balling. And then the Browns haven't been scoring that many points themselves, so I'm rolling under 41. Going to the next game, I actually like this game from a betting perspective. Jaguars going to the Texans. Over under set at 43.5. Jaguars are favored by 4. I actually like the Jaguars in this game just because they're a young team and they're playing on momentum, and the Texans on the other side are overhyped, being such a bad team, playing well these last couple weeks, so everyone's going to be like, oh, the Texans are actually good. But I think the Jaguars are going to come out and take care of business so they could have that momentum going into their Week 18 matchup against the Titans.
So, fun fact. The only win the Texans have this year,
Against Jacksonville?
it's against the Jags.
And what do we
There
say?
ain't no sweeping going on.
Exactly.
So I actually don't like the 4 points. Divisional road game. I'm like, fuck, I don't like it. It's 4. If it was like 2.5, I'd be all over it. I would actually take what's the odds on the money line? Maybe 140?
No, way more. It's gonna be like 250, 260.
Really?
Yeah, because it's over a field goal. So I mean, I would take this on a straight bet -4, and I wouldn't put too much into it in too many parlays. But like you said, they're not gonna sweep 4.5. The underline is -205.
205 is not so bad to me, but it's still god awful.
Yeah, but I just see the the Jaguars just taking care of business in this game. They already lost to him once. Specifically, the fact that they lost to him once, I don't.
There's
think it's
no
gonna be
way they're
close.
gonna lose this game. I just like
But if
fuck.
they lose, just momentum, just young players, they're not going to feel confident going into their next week matchup. So I think they're going to take care of business and then be like, all right.
And that's
we're gonna take
another
care of
side
business.
effect, right? Because if they lose this game, it doesn't really matter
doesn't matter,
ultimately. They
yeah.
can win the next game and they beat the Titans and they're in anyway, right?
Exactly.
See, that thing kind of bugs me out. It kind of trips me out. But to your point, I think you're right. I think they might just blow them out and it just that spread's
I mean, on the
looking weird.
opposite
But
side, like the Titans, for example, they're a little bit better of a team. They've been around for a while. They're coached a little bit better. The coach has been there for a while. So I don't want to say they could take a game off and then show up in week 18. But yeah, they could kind of
What-
take games off.
wouldn't
knowing that
this
they
be
have
a
to show
story,
up in
though?
Week 18.
wouldn't this be a story though?
But
Like, can't you see it now? Like the Texans beat the Jaguars. It didn't matter, but don't you think it's funny? The only team they beat was the Jags, and they did it twice. Like,
and they still make playoffs.
yeah, and the Jags still make playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those weird storylines. I can just see like round 2 fight. You know, and I don't know, man. It bothers me. That game bothers me. I
Yeah,
can't.
and
I
just
can't.
with fantasy, obviously starting ETN, you're starting Christian Kirk, you're starting Evan Ingram, actually, who's been the best tight end in the last like 4 or 5 weeks. Evan Ingram, this boy's healthy. He's on a 1-year deal. Give him a contract next year, and then get hurt and get out.
I
of
am
there.
benching Fryermuth in the championship for Ingram this week.
Oh, you have to. He's
You
been
have
the
to.
top tight end. by
You have
far.
to. He's putting up 12 on a low end, while Muth is putting up 12 twice the whole year. So it's a
I
higher
think
ceiling.
since week 11, he's the top scorer
He is.
tight end.
He is. He
in-
put up 33 points in one game with 2 touchdowns and
but
over
he's been doing it
162
every game,
yards.
he's been
Every
doing
game.
it, and his targets, everything.
3 touchdowns in 4 weeks, over 100 yards. He had 162 yards, 12 receptions, and 2 touchdowns in one game. I have to.
All right,
I have to.
let's move on to the next game. Another interesting storyline. We have the 49ers going to the Raiders. Big spread here. The Raiders, Derek Carr stepping away, bench for the last 2 games. A lot of
You know
things going
why?
on in the locker room. Why?
So if Derek Carr gets injured,
Oh, they can't cut him.
they actually have to pay him his guaranteed money next year. So they're benching him for 2 weeks. But to be quite honest with you, that also gives him the opportunity to opt out of his contract. There's like a 7-day window. So they only have to pay him like $5 million next year. And they can cut ties with him. So I really think this finally might be the end of Carr in a Raider jersey.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Chris Johnson tweeting, send Carr to Tennessee.
Yeah,
So that could be a good little
that's a good setup for him.
good setup.
I can see it now. I can see him somehow getting shipped over to the Steelers if, God forbid, Pickens went down or something, you know?
Yeah, that could be. a
But
good-
I don't want him.
Yeah.
I want Pickens
I
to
don't-
ball
I
out.
don't want him either. But just really quick from a fantasy perspective, you're going to start Josh Jacobs, especially hoping that they're going to lean on the run game. You just
Yeah.
don't like the matchup against the Niners.
Niners front.
And then
Ugh.
same thing with Devontae Adams. I think you're going to have to start him. Hopefully that he just locks in on his best
Ugh.
receiver and gives him targets. You don't feel comfortable, but you're not going to be benching him this late in the year.
This week
Um,
18,
Well, but like last week, all the receivers went off for the Commanders against the Niners. So if there's a way to get him, it's through the air. So I feel a little bit more confident in Devontae Adams.
but
than I
who's their
do-
quarterback again? What's his name?
I don't even know his name, dude. Stidham, Jared Stidham,
Stidham.
from the
yeah.
from the Patriots. Patriots backup, and they signed him.
Oh my God. Yeah, no.
So-
No, that sucks.
So we'll see. And then from the 49ers, obviously Purdy's a baller, McCaffrey's a baller. I don't know how you feel about starting Ayuk in this game, but
Look, man.
let's just go back to betting. Who do you like?
Thank you. I was about to say,
Who do you like? How are we gonna bet on this game?
I can't stand 9.5 points by the Niners, but truth be told, they've been just kind of walking all over teams. I hate the 9.5. I'm putting this in a teaser to drop it down to 3.5, but I'll also take the 9.5 points. I think they beat the Raiders by 10 plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my boy Sean and hit the under of 41.5. Dude, the 49ers defense is just too good. They're on the road. Brock Purdy's good, but I think he's more of a game manager than a star quarterback. So I think the Raiders is just there's a chance that this sparks them up on the defensive end. Obviously, Stidham's not going to go out there and just score a bunch of points on the Niners.
Yeah, I like your
So-
under. I mean, I don't like.
So yeah, the only thing this could do is just hype up the team, the defense, being like, all right, we don't have a quarterback. They're
They're gonna put up what 30 points, the Niners, and then you're expecting them to put up plus 10. I mean, I don't see that 41 and a
I
half.
don't even see them scoring 30 either.
I don't
They
either.
could for sure. Don't get me wrong, but
I think a couple drives get stalled, couple field goals. Second half, pretty much shut down, run the ball a lot. Not even with McCaffrey, but just their second and third string, just to kind of give them a somewhat of a break, right?
exactly.
I like the under.
So okay.
I like a second half under in that game. Actually, I'm gonna keep an eye on that one.
Yeah,
second half under is gonna be awesome.
too. Like especially if the Raiders
Yeah.
score a couple of touchdowns or like some fluky.
I just want it to be like Niners 21-3 at half, and then I love the under, and then they're just gonna delay it and try to kill the clock type of scenario, you know?
Okay, nice. And then we're going to the next game. We got the Jets traveling to the Seahawks. Close game on paper. Jets are favored by 1.5. Over under 42.5.
I'm hoping that they write him off again, Gino. I got McCaffrey, comeback player of the year, and it was like ridiculous odds at the time.
It's looking good,
He's
though.
still without his quarterback getting them to the playoffs. They haven't lost since they traded for him. And then Gino, on the other hand, his team's declining and they're not getting to the playoffs at this point. So I kind of want the Seahawks to lose to the Jets. But rumor has it is Mike White's back. If Mike
is,
White is
yeah.
back, which it sounds like he is, he's going to play the last 2 games of the season to see if he's going to get that starting role. I actually think the Jets are I can see why they're favored 1.5 on the road. And I think that the Jets might pull this off. I gotta do it. I gotta do the over 42.5 points. And I also like the Jets to win this game, 1.5 points.
Yeah, I don't know about the over under just because the Jets defense is so good. I mean, obviously I'm a little bit more confident in Mike White scoring points in Seattle, but you just don't know. And obviously Gino could score. He could also just dud it too. I'm actually going to lean towards the -1.5, probably buy it down to 1 depending on the price. But I'm just really big fan of Saleh and the coach of the Jets, and I just think like again, coaching, defense, you know,
Pete Carroll versus that's a good matchup.
For Saleh, yeah. I think old versus new. So I'm going with Saleh on this one. The defense is just too good. So I'm going
Mike White gets that team hype, bro. I think they win that game.
You know how hard he was trying to get cleared by the
Yeah,
doctors? He
bro.
went to like 10 independent doctors trying to be like, clear me.
Clear me.
Please, I want to play. Clear me. I want to play. So, yeah.
What's up on top? We got Vikings and Packers.
This is a good game on
It's
paper.
a great game.
Just because it's a divisional game. Packers need to win. Packers played well last week, beating the Dolphins.
Have you noticed something about the Vikings?
What is it?
Since being 10-2, they've been underdogs in every single game.
Yeah, I think
It's
just,
fucking weird.
they're kind of a weird.
It's weird.
They're overrated, obviously.
I mean, I agree, dude, but they were underdogs against the Lions. They were underdogs against the Jets. They're now underdogs against the Packers. I mean, it's very odd to me, bro. It's very odd to me.
I mean, I just don't think they have too much to play for other than to spoil it for the Packers.
So here's my outlook. 1:00 game, we already know. Kirk Cousins, that's damn near primetime for him. All eyes. This is probably the game of the week, Vikings and Packers. You know what I mean? You look at the schedule and what teams actually have it. So I'm not going against Aaron Rodgers. I don't like that 3.5 points at all. I think if they win, it's by a last-minute field goal. So I got to take the Vikings on the road. I got to take the 3 points, even though they're in a dome normally. Now they're in this 0-degree weather in Lambeau. I just don't see the Vikings losing by more than 3. No, I'm scratch that. So sorry, guys. I apologize. Packers -3.5. They're going to run A.J. Dillon down the throat in that cold-ass weather, and the Vikings won't be able to stop it.
Yeah, I'm going to go...
Hate the line.
I'm going to go
Under.
Against the grain. No, I'm going to go over. And the reason why is I feel like...
48?
48, and a couple things is that Vikings defense is a little sketchy, right? Green Bay's offense in Green Bay.
You see what Sean said?
Yeah, I would love the Vikings to the
underdogs.
If I had to pick, I would take the 3.5, just because I see Green Bay winning by a field
That's
goal.
what I was feeling too, but now I'm like, nah.
But I just think Green Bay's gonna score points. Vikings defense is suspect, and then I don't know if you saw Jair Alexander, the star cornerback for the Packers, came out on record and said that Justin Jefferson's Week 1 game was a fluke, and that they're gonna lock him up. So
wow.
With that, I think there's a little incentive for this divisional game and for Jefferson them to ball out and score some points. So I think with them calling him out, I think I'm gonna go with the over of 48. But don't get me wrong, I could actually see the Packers weirdly throttling the Vikings.
Too. That's what I'm
because the Vikings
saying.
don't have anything to play for. So if that's the case, they score their points. Let's just hope the Vikings score a couple of their points. Kirk just throws the ball around, and I'm going the over.
It's a lot of points, man, but I feel you on that. Yeah, I like Packers -3.5, bro.
Yeah, I like the over.
What we got left?
We got
Rams, Chargers?
Rams, Chargers. Ugly game on paper. Both teams don't really have much to play for. Chargers already punched their ticket into the playoffs. Baker scored 51 points last week against the Broncos. What do you like?
This is such a weird game because 6.5 points is a lot for something that's
I don't think
the Chargers can't win their division.
A playoff team versus a non-playoff
but
team.
they can't win the division. So like you said, ultimately, what are they playing for?
young coaching.
Seeding?
No, coaching. Like the coach, he's a young coach. You know, like
I think they
like,
struggled
momentum,
against the
like, first-
Colts.
I don't
The
think so. I
score
think
didn't look like it at the end, but at the first quarter was 0-0. Second quarter was like 6-3. I mean, it was just like a very
Oh,
slow.
but he was moving the ball with Keenan Allen.
Right, but he
like,
also threw 2 picks
and I think he gets better.
against the Colts.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Look, Ramsey is a phenomenal DB. He's beatable, but he's aggressive. The 6.5 points is weird. Baker Mayfield has been really, really somehow, off and on, hit or miss every other game. 2 games he played great. 1 game he played awful. I don't know which one I'm getting. 6.5 points is wild. What's the over under? 43?
43, correct.
Yeah, I'm damn. I'm over. I'm under, man. 43 points under.
I'm
I'm
gonna
under.
go against the grain, and I'm gonna go over. And my reason is because the game is in SoFi, home stadium for both teams. Rams just
Okay.
came off a 51 game performance.
But who's
Weather
going to
should
be on the
good.
road technically? So you don't get your same locker and your
I
same.
mean, the Rams are on the road technically, but technically it's like really their home field. So it's like when the Lakers play at Crypto, like even though they're on the road, it's still they're at home. Or even though they play against the Clippers. So, given that it's 2 home teams, like SoFi's nice stadium, weather shouldn't be a problem. Should be
Yeah.
warm in there. So obviously the Chargers are going to try to score points. I think the Rams are just at this point, all they have to do is show points. Baker wants to show out. And I don't
Bro,
think they're gonna
I'm
win the game.
starting Cam Akers, bro. I'm praying that you're right.
Yeah, I mean, if Bosa's not back, it's a good start.
He's not back. I heard he's coming back maybe postseason.
Yeah. So I think my guess is that he's actually almost ready to be back.
He is,
They're
but he's
just
not playing
waiting-
this
but
week
they're
for
just-
sure.
They're just waiting to get him
Mhm.
for the when it really matters.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He's like this right back to the facility where you can actually catch him in there, but he's not practicing fully with the team yet.
So I'm going over, and then we have a Sunday night game, a fun game. I'm gonna let you take it over. I'll just preview it a little bit. Steelers going to the Ravens. Ravens are favored by 2.5. Over under 35. What does this game mean for you as a Steeler fan and the Steelers team and everything? going
So
forward?
our chances of postseason are like 1%. I mean, we need the Patriots to lose twice, the Jets to lose twice, the Chargers to lose twice, and we got to win our 2 games. But I don't think we're necessarily playing for postseason. At this point, we're playing for our coach.
in the record.
He's never had a losing record, and now that there's week 18 and there's 17 games, they can finish the season 9-8, and with 1 loss, they go 8-9. So here's the truth of it all. Against the Ravens, they barely lost a few weeks back, and that was at home. Pickett went down, concussion. No Lamar still. This is one of those games where it was like the Raiders, where I called it. This is very easy for me. The Steelers are going to terrorize the Ravens. They're going to terrorize them. I'm talking about one of those games where they have 6-7 sacks, 2-3 picks, just viciously attacking. Because here's the deal. Ravens already punched their ticket. When there's no Lamar again, they're going to be playing soft.
Yeah.
And the Steelers are going to play as hard as they've ever played because we hate the Ravens and we want a winning record for our coach. When no one thought it was possible at 2-6, all you heard was rumbles about Tomlin's going to have his first losing season. And I kept telling you guys, no, he won't. So I think the Steelers actually ball out. And we would have won if we had Pickett last week, but Mitch threw 3 picks that game. So yeah, Steelers are going to throttle them. As far as the spread goes, I'm taking the points, but I also like money line. And the 35-point over/under, I'm not touching it. I think it's going to be under, but I'm not touching it.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I like what you're saying about the coaching and who they're playing for. Like, I mean, 2 things. Number 1, they're playing for their coach. That's obvious. You know, Tomlin has his record and all that on the line. But then also, it's just such a weird spot for Kenny Pickett that he needs to show out. And
He wants
that
to
he can
show.
start. He can't just like
Bro,
cruise
he
control and
knows.
then, like, yeah, he said they might get Carr, they might do this. They might
Every
do that.
Steeler
Like,
knows we would have won. We would have beat the Ravens. It would have been a completely different story at this point in time if Pickett didn't get concussed.
and if they have a chance, you're saying there's a chance?
Right, there is. Yeah.
There's a chance? Then give me the Steelers plus 2.5.
All day.
Give me a chance, because then dude, no Lamar.
All day.
Snoop Huntley, like he's capable,
All day.
but it's gonna be a close game. They're not,
This is a game where Watt has 3 sacks and a pick type play. This is a game where Minka or Sutton have 2-3 picks. This is a game where our defense legitimately is the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL for fantasy this week, which is why I'm playing the Steelers defense over the Ravens in the finals.
okay, nice.
Book it.
All right, so we got the last game, Monday Night Football.
We could preview that real quick, but let's get them out of here, right?
Yeah, let's go real quick. It's a good game though. Bills
It
and
is.
Bengals. Bills win. They lock up AFC home field by everything. Bengals have been playing good as sport, like of recent. Who do you like in that game?
Diggs is ill. That's why he's questionable. So I think Diggs gets fed this week. He's had 3 really quiet games. I've never really felt too comfortable with the Bengals. I think they're overrated. So I actually like the Bills -1 on the road against the Bengals because they've already pretty much locked their division now. And again, Bills are still getting that chance to play for that number 1 seed in the league. So
I'm
Yeah.
with you. I'm going Bills -1. I think they want to lock it up. They don't want the Chiefs to come in and just swoop home field advantage. They want the playoffs to go through Buffalo, cold, their hometown. So
Absolutely.
easy call for me, Bills.
and
Yeah.
we'll touch base on Monday,
Yeah.
obviously, on our next show because
When
injuries,
come
all
back
that
on
fun time.
recap, yeah, when we preview, we'll talk about it Monday. But it was nice for all you guys. Thank you for being with us. It means the world to us that you're here. If you can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, put a little comment in there, just whatever you can to help our algos. You know me, it's your boy, Sick as Fool.
Onside kicking it as always, man. It's your boy, I am Ghost_AF. Make sure to follow us on our socials. Onside kicking it is everywhere. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, of course, Instagram. Same with I am Ghost, same with Sick as Fool. We appreciate you guys to the fullest, man. Good looking, Sean, man. We'll see you guys soon.
Peace.
Monday, 3:30 Pacific.